Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am your host, the #1 Vikings fan extraordinaire, Adam Boyer. We are back yet again. I feel like I've been producing a lot of content lately, but I'm glad I am. I'm having a good time doing it. Hope you are. Welcome back to the Green Screen Studio. We're back inside today. Make sure y'all let me know what you think about that. It debuted last time in my mock draft video. You can go check that out if you want. It is right there on the channel, my last full-length video. Today, we are discussing if Lamar Jackson could be traded to the Washington Commanders. Feels like a long shot, but let's at least see what the potential possibility of it is, and let's get right into it. So, the logical place to start is, as we know, the Ravens are not giving Lamar the money he wants. He wants a fully guaranteed, big fat contract. He wants to be paid like a top quarterback in the NFL, and he wants that fully guaranteed money. So he would probably settle for no less than $45 million a year, I'd imagine. That puts him on the top tier of quarterbacks, about the top 5 or so. He'd probably settle for no less than $45 million a year, and at bare minimum, it would have to be a 3-year deal, but probably more likely 4 or 5 years, maybe even 6. He's going to push hard for a lot of money and a lot of security with it. So whatever team ends up giving him a contract, it's probably going to look like either a 4 or 5 year deal worth something anywhere like 192 to like $250 million, something like that, somewhere in that range. It's going to be a lot of money. You can rest assured of that. He wants to get paid like Russell Wilson, and most teams that, whatever team signs him is going to hope he gets paid like that and plays better than that. But, maybe Russ can rebound. But this video is not about Russell Wilson, is it? So, Lamar, yeah. Would he even fit with the Commanders' scheme? We'll talk about that a little more later on. It's kind of, we're in a weird situation quarterback-wise. I know what's new. But let's look at our cap space. We have approximately $8.5 million, give or take, in cap space per over the cap. And again, we know Lamar is asking for a ton of money. We would have to do some serious cap gymnastics. We'd have to clear up cap space somewhere. I don't know where we're going to get it. And yeah, like I said, we have to move contracts around and probably cut some guys. We have to free up some contract, some cap space. And that would have to be it, pretty much, for trades, free agency, whatever. We got to bring in Lamar, and that's it, other than the draft. And obviously, we'll be giving up draft picks to get him. So, yeah, the Commanders, even financially, I just don't know that it make a lot of sense. They don't have a lot of money. And again, there's not really a price you can put on a franchise quarterback. So maybe they find a way to move stuff around and give it to him, but it would cost a lot of money, and it would be pretty hard to get done. And that leads us to, would Lamar Jackson even be a scheme fit? And if we change the scheme to fit him, would the offense even run the same? And I'm not sure about this, because Eric Bieniemy obviously controls the offense now. He's our offensive coordinator / assistant head coach. He was with the Chiefs. He came over from Kansas City, and no one was really sure how much of the offense was Andy Reid, how much was him. That's the only reason he didn't get a head coaching job, more than likely. But he's our offensive coordinator now. He runs our offense. And the scheme the Chiefs ran compared to what the scheme the Ravens ran is not really similar. The Ravens are run first, the Chiefs are pass first. Mahomes and Jackson are both dual threat quarterbacks, but Mahomes relies on his arm much more, whereas Jackson relies on his legs much more. And so I think there probably have to be some moving around of a scheme. I'm not exactly sure what Bieniemy is planning on running, but I think it's going to have to be probably some moving around, and that leads us to the question, will the offense even run as well? If it is a run-first scheme like we saw in Baltimore, then Brian Robinson, Antonio Gibson should benefit from that, and maybe Jarrett Patterson if he's on the roster still. I think, yeah, we let J.D. McKissick go after he failed a physical, unfortunately. So, yeah, those are the 3 running backs. They'd probably benefit from it. The receivers, I don't know. Jackson will be working with the best set of receivers he's ever had. More than likely, you got Scary Terry, Jahan Dotson, Curtis Samuel. And then tied in, we don't really know what's going on there. That's kind of TBD. So, would Jackson be a fit? I'm not sure. And I think we would have to change the scheme some. I don't know how much that affect our offense. Our offensive line is looking pretty decent, so it might honestly be the most offensive talent Jackson has ever played with. Certainly in the playmaking guys, I think the Ravens have probably had a better offensive line than we had in Jackson's tenure so far, but I know his playmaking weapons will be better than he's ever had before, all told. But I don't know how much that would change the offense as a whole, and if Bieniemy even wants to go to that, defense shouldn't really be affected by it, of course. Now, right now, the Commanders, again, awkward quarterback situation. We seem to want to roll with Howell in the long term, and we signed Jacoby Brissett to a 1-year, $8 million contract just to see if he would give Howell the competition he needs for the starting job. They'll be battling out through OTAs, minicamp, camp, preseason, I'm assuming, and seeing who gets the starting job. I wouldn't imagine it'll be announced before maybe the last week of preseason, maybe even just before week 1, the starter. But yeah, I imagine Brissett will start the season, and if he struggles, Howell comes in, or vice versa. But I think Howell is what they're trying to roll with long term. They think they've seen a lot of promise in him, and I have too. His film from last preseason and Week 18 versus Dallas looked really good, but of course it's a very small sample size. So it does seem like they want Howell in the long run. But there's a caveat here. If they get a good deal on Jackson, they just can't pass up. If the Ravens are going to lose Jackson for nothing, and they just don't want to do that, and they don't want to keep franchise tag him, they can't reach a deal, he wants out of Baltimore, they've got to let him go, they might be willing to settle for a little bit of a bargain. So, let's say we're able to get Lamar for something like 2 first-round picks. It sounds like a high price, but if you think about it, a young franchise quarterback in his prime, 2 first-round picks is not that high of a price. So let's just say, hypothetically, we were able to give this year's first-rounder and next year's first-rounder. And we somehow get Jackson, and, all's well and dandy. We give him a big old fat contract worth 5 years, $200 million, more than that probably. And, of course, yeah, he gets a new contract. But the fact remains that situation is very unlikely. I don't think we'll be getting Jackson for just 2 first-round picks. I think a team would be fortunate to walk away from that trade with just 3 first-round picks. They probably have to give up more after seeing the Deshaun Watson trade. They'd have to give up a lot of draft capital and maybe players for him, and they'd have to be paying him a lot of money as well. But let me know what y'all think. Should the Commanders try to pursue Lamar Jackson? Aaron Rodgers is out of the question now. Jackson seems to be the only proven veteran quarterback we could be going for. Is it a possibility? Let me know what y'all think. As always, folks, don't forget to subscribe. If you did enjoy, it would help very much. Join the Vikings fam when you subscribe. If you want to, you go down to the link in the description. Join my Patreon. Get exclusive perks. That'd be great as well. And, of course, like the video. Help it reach more people. Also very much appreciated. As always, I'm the Vikings fan. I'm out of here. See y'all later.